This is the last video for today, and it looks at how I would actually do the assignment using this information. So if we go back to the assignment task sheet, one of the things we have to do is propose and evaluate 2 human resource management theories. You're given the criteria here. And this is what we're doing now. Don't worry about the recommend yet, we'll look at that next lesson. But which 2 human resource management theories are we going to evaluate? The 2 I've chosen for my Subway example, one that we've already looked at, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and I've also used Locke's goal setting theory. And this is not one that we've covered, and this is to make a point that you can go outside what we've done in class time and choose a human resource management theory that you think is relevant. Now, you can evaluate the 2 and compare the 2 in a whole lot of ways. I've gone and put together a table. Right? I've said here are the 2 models, Maslow and Locke, and here are the criteria down the left-hand side: the cost, staff motivation, profit, workplace health and safety, and innovation. Okay. Now, I'm being a little bit briefer. I would have some statements just explaining what the theories are first, but you guys know what Maslow's hierarchy of needs is. Locke's goal setting theory, that talks more about saying that if there is a clear, specific and challenging goal that is able to be achieved by a staff member, that will help their motivation. So, for example, if you set someone a goal of packing a certain number of boxes of fruit, that suddenly that task becomes more likely to be achieved, right? And therefore there's some improved performance. One place that we see goals, or I'm aware of goals being used a lot, is in call centres, right? That there'll be a certain number of calls that they'll have to handle in a period of time. So let's have a think about what we've got. Right? The first criteria I've put here is the cost to implement. Right? And I've said that for Locke's goal setting theory, that's pretty low, because all we need to do is sit down with our staff and say, okay, at the moment you're serving on average 15 people per hour. Let's make a goal to get that capacity up to 17 people per hour within the next month. So that's a pretty low process. Maslow, it's going to be expensive, because this is a really comprehensive model. It goes right from dealing with the basic needs of people's safety and food and water, considering those needs, all the way through to considering their needs around creativity and achievement. So there's going to be a big change in an organisation like Subway. Remembering this is dealing with Subway restaurants, Subway sandwiches. Okay. Impact on staff satisfaction and motivation. Right? It could be medium with Locke's goal setting theory, right? And I've linked that to theory Y that we talked about on the previous video, the theory X, theory Y, because it'll provide a little bit of meaning and challenge in the work for people. But for Maslow, this is really comprehensive. This is looking at the key needs of people. And even if you don't agree, there's some people who criticise the Maslow model and saying people don't move from one to the other, and we discussed this. Even if people don't move from one to the other, you've considered all the key needs for staff in there. Again, impact on profit, same justification, right? That there's a comprehensive model that's being proposed here about changing the way Subway relates to its staff. Whereas it could have an impact in Locke's goal theory, right? More goal-focused employees will have better financial results. Another place you see something like this, I think Phoebe talked about the statistics that they keep on upselling at KFC. So that's the kind of thing that would be here. You'd expect to see some benefit, but not as high, something that's comprehensive. Workplace health and safety. Well, here Maslow specifically addresses workplace health and safety. Locke, well, you could talk about it. Maybe you have some goals around training or reducing accidents or whatever, but you're really dealing with this in a comprehensive way here. They're specifically going to look at issues of safety around staff. And impact on innovation, once again, Maslow's looking to be creative. Right? There are going to be specific strategies that come from this. Time given for people to innovate, for example. They might have little team meetings that try to plan different systems, improve systems. whereas it's unlikely that the goal setting is going to have much of an impact. So if we compare these two things, except for the fact that goal setting is cheaper, in all the other criteria, Maslow's hierarchy is superior. So I could use that as a justification for why I might choose that to try and implement specifically at Subway, right? And then that'll come down to some of those specific examples of what we can do and how we're going to do it. But that sets out the comparison of the two. And if we go back to where we started from the task sheet, right? We've proposed and evaluated two human resource theories. One we've been, one we haven't. You could, of course, combine two theories and come up with your own theory if you want. But then we've compared them against the criteria, and we've decided in that case, I think, that Maslow looks like it's probably the best. The only thing you would say is if cost was a significant limitation, you might say you have to go with LOCKSS because it's the one criteria that matters more than others. If that was the case, I'd be more inclined to go with Maslow, and I think you'd get some interesting results from it.